Hello everyone, welcome to AB-Aquariums. Been a little while since I've done another video again, but we're back at it again. This one I'm just going to talk about the aggression in aquariums, especially between certain cichlids. So these are mostly South and Central American cichlids. But yeah, to be fair, they seem to be, it seems to be one of those things you just have to live with a lot of the time. They'll just be picking on each other most of the time, and other times they'll just be ignoring each other when they're eating, but sometimes even arguing over food. So it's just one of them things that you kind of got to live with when you've got aggressive fish with other aggressive fish. I mean, this is a 8 foot by 2.5 foot wide by 2 foot tall aquarium, so about 300 gallons. So you know, it's a big tank. You know, I've got 3 Oscars in here, 1 Severum, a black shark, 6 tinfoil barbs, there's Enlacari Baisha, 2 clown loaches currently, there's a sailfin pleco, similar to a common pleco but more of a, you know, sort of long fin variety with better looking fins. Yeah, and that's basically what I've got going on here at the moment. But the tinfoil barbs are put in there to mainly act as a bit of a deterrent for aggression, or as a dither fish, you know, so they can sort of swim amongst any aggression that might be occurring and kind of take the attention away from the other fish, and maybe, you know, the aggressor might be deterred and might basically look at the tinfoil barbs flashing away in front of them with their glistening fins, because they are quite shiny when the light hits them, as you can probably tell here. But yeah, they are quite a quick fish, and that was my thinking. So I think that has helped a little bit, but I think there's always going to be some sort of aggression. I've always got a little bit of lip locking going on now and then between 2 of the Oscars, at least the 2 larger ones. These 2 here. Sorry about the glare, it is awful glare. Yeah, so there's a red Oscar and a more wild type Oscar on the right there, which is the largest one. There's a smaller Oscar that's just a standard tiger Oscar somewhere that's disappeared. Otherwise they're behind, he's behind the other ones, so you can't really see him, but there he is there, look. He's a lot smaller. He actually started off the bigger one, or let's say he. That Oscar started off the bigger one out of all of them, and then gradually over time the other 2 overtook him. So that's strange how he's now the smaller one, but for some reason he doesn't seem to get picked on as much. I think maybe because they see that he's less of a threat and he's more docile and smaller, maybe that's less likely for him to get picked on. But the angels, they're good as gold. The 2 angelfish, koi angels, nothing ever picks on them. They just seem to do what they want. Nothing at all bothers them. The Severum does seem to be a little bit of an aggressor, sometimes chasing fish around. Sometimes it'll even try and break up the fights between the Oscars. Again, apologies for the glare, it is pretty bad. The clown loaches, they're good as gold. They're always, you know, friendly, and nothing seems to bother them, apart from the black shark will occasionally chase them around, but nothing, you know, it won't bite them or anything. From what I've seen, it's just literally just chasing them out of the middle of the aquarium there. He seems to like being around that boulder there. So yeah, if anything sort of goes around there, he sort of chases them away when he's not eating or distracted by food or anything like that. But yeah, it's just one of those things. I put line of sight blocks in I say best I can, without literally filling the aquarium with hard scape, you know. There's a few fake plants in there, obviously kind of real ones with fish like this in there. There's rocks, there's a massive 5 foot long log in there. There's some other smaller pieces of wood. There's a sheep's skull, that's a real sheep's skull that came off a farm that was basically sat on a farm for God knows how many years. So yeah, there's got a nice bit of algae growing on that now, looks quite good. Quite like that skull. I mean, you wouldn't know it's a sheep, it could be anything, it could be a goat, could be a deer, you know. It's something that I know it's from a sheep, that it is what it is. But yeah, no, so that looks quite, I think it just looked good there, you know. I thought I'd add that in there. Obviously I cleaned it all off first, there was nothing left on it anyway, so it's just completely bare. But yeah, no, that's just something that you kind of got to consider. You got to consider there's aggression, and that's something I have to sort of live with these fish. I call it a bit of a community aquarium, but it's not really, you know, it's not really a calm community, if you know what I mean. There's always something going on, which can add to the viewing experience, I suppose, of your fish. I mean, you're watching a little bit of aggression going on. It's not necessarily a good thing, but then they're not, you know, there's very minimal marking going on the Oscars. You know, really, it's not too bad. considering what sort of fish we got in here. But yeah, no, that's just a little quick overview of what I was going to talk about with in terms of the aggression with fish like this. And you know, you really do want a big tank if you're going to go down the route I'm going down, you know, trying to do a community of a few aggressive fish. There isn't that many fish in here really. It looks like there is because they're all huddled up in the same place at the moment, but you know, there isn't that many fish, but the fish in here will get big. So I've considered that, and you know, there's a lot of swimming space for the fish. They've got 8 feet, you know, by 2.5 feet by 2 feet to swim around in, so there's plenty of space for them. And yeah, no, I'm just hopefully they'll get along long term as the Oscars get to full grown. I mean, one of them now is getting on for, well, that one there is probably over 8 inches now. That's the biggest one out of the 3. And his buddy there, the red one, I say buddy, they don't really get on too well. But yeah, he's, you know, the other one's sort of well over 6 inches as well. So, but yeah, the smallest one is a bit smaller than that. But yeah, no, they, you know, hopefully it will still be a thriving aquarium when they get to full grown. The tinfoil barbs have got a little bit more growing to do. They're already a fair size now, actually, to be fair. They're probably not too far off. What are they? 7 or 8 inches now, each of them. Maybe 6 to 8 inches, the tinfoil barbs. So yeah, they've got a little bit more growing to do, but yeah, everyone's going to get fairly chunky in here. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you reckon, if I can try anything else, or whether you would find any of the things that I'm doing useful to try and help your situation out in your aggressive tanks. But yeah, you know, I was thinking about maybe adding another fish in the aquarium. I did try to grow on an arowana, silver arowana, in another aquarium, but unfortunately he jumped out even though I had lids on it. He must have literally pushed the lids up, even though they weren't the lightest of lids in the world, but he pushed the lids up and flew out the back of the tank. And I literally, it was a bit of an effort to try and rescue the fish from, even though it had already passed away, it was a bit of an effort just to get the fish out from behind the tank, because it's such a, there's no rim behind there. But yeah, that was fun. Unfortunately losing that fish, but I was trying to think of another option, maybe in terms of adding more fish to the tank to maybe get rid of some more aggression. I'm growing out a couple of Bala sharks in another tank that again, maybe another good dither fish. So we'll see how that goes when they're getting a bit bigger, because they're far too small at the moment. They'll just get gobbled up by one of the Oscars, no doubt, when they're stationary, and you know, an Oscar sneaks up on them, they'll probably be gone. But yeah, I'll report back when they've grown out a bit more. But yeah, other than that, I might add something else, but we'll watch this space. But yeah, hope you learned something from this, and let us know in the comments of any suggestions as to help this situation as well. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.